Guys, I was contemplating whether I should purchase the new Midnight expansion or not, and I'm kinda leaning towards no. Not only because I'm lazy and I don't want to fire up my old Bellnet account that I haven't touched in ages, but literally because I don't believe Blizzard can give us a good product anymore. I'm hearing some good things about Midnight, but most of them are just, they're mediocre at best, and so many features that should have been implemented a long time ago have been ruined by greed. Even the housing system has real life elements to it. You can actually pay for stuff with real life money. It's so disgusting. They added a new currency just for that. So I don't think I'm going to do it, especially after I managed to finally quit the game right before Shadowlands. I actually managed to get a refund on the expansion. And I think this was pretty much the end of the road for me with Blizzard, unless unless they somehow release a good Classic Plus experience, which then I will 100% come back into the game. But yeah, I highly doubt that. The people who are afraid to put the war in Warcraft would make me a good Classic Plus product, sure, but this man seems to think the same. So let's watch this video, hear what he has to say.
I've bought and played every single World of Warcraft expansion, but over the past couple of releases, I've felt like more and more of an idiot for doing so. So this is the first time I won't be buying the new expansion.
God bless, you are freed, brother. The curse is lifted. Oh my god, I'm so glad he had the epiphany that after so many dumpster fires, this time he's not going to pay Blizzard to fund their next one. Wow, kudos. I mean, yeah, he's ascended. He knows now.
I remember when I came back to the War Within, and within the first hour of playing, I had this moment where I stopped and had to think to myself, what the hell am I doing?
This?
I'm the alleged hero of Azeroth doing this boring busy work.
Bro, that's crazy. I had this exact same moment in BFA. You know when it happened to me? When I played Warfronts. Bro, that shit was so garbage. Oh my god. They had the opportunity to do the coolest thing ever with Warfront, and they messed it up so bad. It was so lame. Everyone went AFK. I actually tried to play it. I realized that it doesn't matter, so I just stood there and I was like, wow, this is the expansion. I had like one more moment like this with like the turtle quest. A turtle made it to the water. Oh god, it was so cringe. They even brought the grandma who voice acted this turtle to the panel. It was crazy. She's nice though. She's kind of awesome. I'll give her credit, but come on, bro. Really? I mean, they really took the worst thing from the expansion and tried to turn it into a meme. It's like whenever your grandpa shows you a meme, you know it's dead. You know, not your grandpa, just the meme, but still, it's so bad. It's just not funny. It lost old flavor.
For these robotic, monotonous, androgynous dwarves. I'm sick of what these expansions make me do, but beyond that, I'm sick of being the hero. I just want to be a nobody again. I won't be buying the new expansion because I've found myself in this loop too many times. I end up buying it just because it's World of Warcraft, not because I actually want to play it. I've experienced this loop too many times and I need to stop engaging in it. What happens is a new WoW expansion is announced, and to be honest, I feel nothing towards it, but as it draws closer to release day, I find myself feeling a great sense of fear of missing out. I want to continue my paladin that I've always had, that I've had since 2007, and I want to continue leveling it. And when
There's a name for that. It's called sunken cost fallacy. You feel like you wasted your entire life playing World of Warcraft, and if you're not going to continue that, then all the years you spent grinding in the games, doing anything you can possibly do to, upgrade your character and whatever, it's all in vain. Brother, that's not the case. It was all in vain the moment the next patch came out. Okay? So don't look at it that way. You had your fill, you enjoyed the game for what it was back in the day, and now it's over. If you're not having fun now, that's the waste of time. That's the waste of money. And this is something that I understood myself when I played BFA. Because I had enough. I had a little bit of fun in Legion. Unfortunately, the gatekeeping kind of made me quit. I had some fun, doing all the stuff, and that's it pretty much. I did not want to play BFA. It was too much for me. I didn't enjoy any feature. So I realized if I'm not enjoying this now, then I might just not play the game. It's better to play something completely different. And unfortunately, even though World of Warcraft is my all-time favorite MMORPG, I'm not gonna play it because it's just not fun for me anymore. I'd rather play Classic, and that's it.
See all these people leveling up, I want to engage in it. I'm getting that FOMO. But then once I actually buy it and play it, within a week or two, I find myself regretting the decision. I find myself doing quests and seeing the new story and thinking, why am I here? I'm not feeling any sense of happiness playing this. I find myself regretting the decision to buy it and thinking to myself, why did I do this again? It's not exciting anymore. It's just familiar, and honestly familiar in the worst way, because I know what's going to happen. I know I'll end up being max level. I know I'll end up grinding a few purple items, maybe doing some mythic dungeons, and then the next patch will come out, reset my progress, and I hate that feeling when my purple gear is replaced with green gear, within that expansion no less. At least wait until the next expansion to fully reset my purples. It makes it feel like a complete waste of time, and that's the feeling that makes me push away from World of Warcraft, that feeling that it's completely pointless to play.
Absolutely. And that's the best part about Classic too. You can carry over like the Fire Necklace from Ragnaros, which is, obviously Molten Core, first phase raid, and you can carry it over until like what, tier 5? It's crazy. You can carry it all the way to even Nax. It's insane. Like, it's an insanely good item. So they knew how to do it properly back in the day, but Blizzard can do it nowadays? No, that's not the case. They just want to reset your progress so you be more incentivized to continue your subscription. And that's it. It's honestly that simple. It's cringe, I know, but that's how they operate. They want to min-max everything in terms of like financial gains. And that's what ruined the company. And you can see it. It's clear. The company was, I don't want to say on the verge of bankruptcy. Obviously, they were still making bank, right? But they didn't make as much as they have because they had to sell to Microsoft, obviously. Bobby Kotick just siphoned every single fund from the company. It disappeared. That's pretty much it.
It's predictable. I'll enjoy the first few days and then it's going to become a hollow experience. I just don't believe in WoW anymore. Every WoW expansion I've come to just expect disappointment. I keep coming back to World of Warcraft because it's just been a big part of my life for so many years. I'm not playing it because the modern game offers me anything exciting. I'm playing it because it's familiar. I've seen comments on my latest WoW video saying they also sub up for a month and then just end up quitting again. That's the exact same pattern that I follow. There's other comments where people are saying it's been like this for the past 10 or so years. And the reason this loop always ends for me in disappointment is because the world just doesn't feel like it has any weight to it, and it just ends up feeling pointless. The hero of Azeroth lens that we have in the game now just feels like an empty promise to me. Honestly, I felt more like a hero of Azeroth when I slowly leveled through Classic WoW, did the raids, did Burning Crusade, and eventually Wrath of the Lich King, killing the Lich King. The whole lens of being a hero of Azeroth falls apart to me, especially within those first moments of the War Within, because I was genuinely helping out these farmers, and I remember sitting there in disdain when I was doing these quests.
Yeah, lower the volume a bit, 1 second. And yeah, he's absolutely right. I mean, the thing is, you don't have to save the world to be a hero. You can be someone else's hero, and that's just as fine. That's the feeling Classic WoW used to give you. It was so good. Like, it was truly fantastic. Remember when you were in Daenerys and you walked around aimlessly and you found that damn turtle? How do you call it? Like, how was it called? Tuga? Something like that? And you needed to help him find his way to the beach. You help this guy, you navigate through the harsh landscape of Daenerys, and you fight all these cool monsters along the way, and you finally reach the shore when he's reunited with his wife. And what happens? She yells at him. Perfect. Is it not? These were the type of quests that made people fall in love with WoW. Believe it or not. It's these type of quests that made everyone love this game. And nowadays, they don't exist. Nowadays, you're the hero, and it's so forced and on the nose that everyone can see through it. That's why nobody believes it, because it's so obvious. Nobody wants that experience. You need to stop having important lore figures talk to us like we are their friends, like we are their allies. You don't know anything about me, Jaina. Okay? Leave me alone. We need to stop Sylvanas Yas Slay Queen arc because it's cringe, and we need Thrall to be manly again. That's what we need.
Yes, moving, feeding these rams, and doing these
Also, and we need to grow the hell up, brother. Like, that is unacceptable.
farming quests for these dwarves. It just felt like, why am I here? Why would the hero of Azeroth be down here doing farming? Would he not be engaging in war? Why am I helping these dwarves out? It felt like a Disney moment in a movie. It just felt too soft and kind. I do miss being a nobody in a world that was hostile, a world that felt like it could probably kill you. I don't feel it danger when I'm doing these farming quests. I feel bored, and honestly, I get pissed off doing it. But when I'm playing older versions of World of Warcraft, if I pull too many mobs or go into a cave where something's too high level, I either have to run or die. And then what makes you feel like you've got that triumph feeling is when you come back with few levels later, or maybe you've got a key piece of gear that makes you feel so much stronger, and you wipe the floor with that zone. It gives you that sense of power progression. And I think the War Within just hit home for me because these dwarves were all robots and they're so monotonous. Every time I was accepting a quest from them, they just spoke like, "Oh, thank you, I'm a robot." And it was just genuinely so off-putting to play. And if they want everyone to play this game, they really are designing it for no one. It does feel so sanitized. I remember one of the world quests in the first zone of the War Within was a kind of dance party or a theatre play, and you take part in that play. And genuinely, I was there.
Bro, that sounds hella cringe. I still need to watch that. You see, I actually unironically want to purchase this expansion just to kind of meme on it. Honest to God, like, that's why. But I don't want to give Blizzard my money. I really don't. And
I was just like, oh, why am I doing this? I mean, I think back to Karazhan in the Burning Crusade. Yes, that had a theatre moment, the opera moment, but it was deadly. You know, there was the Little Red Riding Hood, and if you mess that up, you're following this little gnome around. If you mess it up, the wolf touches you, you die. Karazhan itself has become this haunted tower with demons in it. And what I really liked about the final boss of Karazhan was Prince Malchezaar's voice. It sounded so deep and genuinely evil in a way that I really enjoyed. Every time we pulled that boss and you hear him with his really deep voice, Prince Malchezaar, I thought it was very cool. And with the game constantly essentially telling you you're legendary, it makes everything feel not legendary in the slightest. I remember during Shadowlands, everyone would get their legendary braces, and legendaries are supposed to be like quite rare. If you got yourself Thunder Fury during Classic WoW or the Glaives from Illidan in TBC, you're a very lucky young boy. And getting the legendary items in later expansions, you know, everyone got their legendary cloak in Mr. Pandaea. Everyone got these legendary braces. What's the
For the exact same reason I didn't like Legion. I know that many people love the artifacts, I didn't. I didn't like the fact that everyone had an Ashbringer. I thought it was lame. I did not enjoy it. I mean, the mechanic itself that was tied to it was great, but I didn't like the fact that everyone had it.
Point in calling it,
I mean, the Ashbringer, obviously, and in terms of theme and all that stuff,
legendary. It's just an item with inflated stat numbers. The thing that made me feel so disconnected from retail was the fact that the gear loop, you know, getting your purples and all that, feels like it has an expiry date of the next patch. I hated it when I would sign up to an expansion, and I like to farm myself at least a few purples before I give up on the game for a while. And then when I come back and all those items have just been replaced. There's a new questing zone, you go there, you do one quest, you get a green, and you look back at this item that you farmed for, and it's got so much more stats, and you think, why did I bother spending any ounce of effort getting that purple gear? At least in earlier versions of World of Warcraft, when I got a purple item, it felt useful for a long time, and if I was to unsub and come back, it's not being replaced by greens during that expansion. At least it's still powerful. It makes it feel like it's worthwhile to collect, and it's worthwhile to put my time into this game.
Yep, and a really good example for that would be the breastplate from the arena runs from Blackrock Adepts, right? It would be a perfect example. Like people do strictly arena runs to actually from Blackrock Mountain, yeah, for like doing that stuff just to get the breastplate, and it's like a 2% chance on a boss that has what 33% chance to spawn or something like that. So people are constantly doing arena runs to actually gain that item. And when you get it, oh boy, it's so good. You hold on to it for so long and you have bragging rights that no one else has. It's so cool. Like I love these type of things, and I think most players do too.
And whenever a cutscene rolled during the War Within, I just did not care. They do look, even the art style looks kind of soft and almost like it's from a Disney film now. Those in-game cutscenes, I don't care about what's going on in the slightest. I've been looking at your comments on my previous video.
Not gonna lie, the cinematic itself was beautiful. Holy. Like, I remember looking at the graphics and I'm like, damn. Like, Blizzard is still cooking. Like, with the cinematics, they are. They are. I'm not gonna lie. Even though the writing was garbage, the same thing applied for, like, the Shadowlands trailer. Damn, it looked insanely good.
And there is a sentiment from people that we have to do work, we have to do real chores now. That time is gone that we had time to invest in this game. And that's why a lot of you do like retail, because it is quicker and easier to get gear. My angle is, I'm 33 years old, I do have less time. And that means when I play a game, I do want it to feel worthwhile. Getting this gear in retail, yes, you can get it easily, but it doesn't feel worthwhile to me. I think retail can feel more like a second job. And a lot of you said that Classic WoW has moments that just waste your time compared to retail, like having to travel to dungeons, having to wait for mana, things just taking more time. But to be honest with you, these wastes of time is what makes the game feel so much more satisfying to play. And I'd argue...
Absolutely, because it gives you a sense of accomplishment. Whenever it takes you like 10 or 20 minutes to establish a dungeon group, you need to make sure that group sticks. So even if stuff go out of hand and you wipe a couple of times, you don't really break the group, because you kind of have to teach each other, and it incentivizes you to get better together so you can accomplish that dungeon, because finding another person to swap your tank, healer, or even DPS, it's going to take a while. So it incentivizes you to actually stick together and learn, instead of just disbanding and finding a new group, which is what retail does best, right? So that's why it's so good, because you have that sense of accomplishment. You go through adversities, through some tribulations, and you conquer them. That's how the game made you feel good about yourself. You actually put time and effort into doing something to better yourself or your character. It's just good. That's how it goes. Nowadays, retail don't care about that. It's a checklist. That's why nobody likes to play it.
I argue that is where the actual game is. And that gives me satisfaction when I get that piece of gear. And honestly, with limited time, if I was to play Classic WoW, I'd feel a lot more satisfied, and I'd rather spend my limited time doing something, even if it was something small, in Classic WoW, because it just feels more meaningful. If I was to waste my time on retail and, get some gear, get it quickly, I would come out of it feeling like, yeah, I've got some gear, but I'd feel a bit hollow afterwards and like I'd wasted my time in that sense. But the biggest thing for me isn't the gear, it's the fact...
Yeah, of course, because you just did a Blizzard checklist. Like, oh, I need to get this piece of gear, great. I need to do the table missions, okay, awesome. I need to do this daily, great. Market, like, that's it. That's all retail has to offer. You don't get to choose what you do. You just do what Blizzard guides you towards, and that's it. And it's so unfortunate, man. Like it's like they haven't learned anything from the success of Classic. They're just trying to keep force feeding us garbage, because they hope that one day Labubu Gen Zers and Labubu Millennials would come together and purchase World of Warcraft. It's not going to happen. The moment a good MMO would surface, WoW is dead. Right now, they're so lucky that no one is actually competent enough to make a good MMO. So that's why WoW is still the king. But I swear, dude, the day Riot Games announces their MMO, trust me, it will happen. It won't be bad. That's the that's the real WoW killer. Maybe Ashes of Creation. Oh God, no.
Look,
We're lost, dude. We're gonna play WoW forever.
retail feels isolating. You could argue that convenience has killed that sense of community. Friction may feel annoying at the time, the slowness of Classic, having to walk to the dungeon, having to whisper people to form dungeon groups, but that friction is the social glue. Retail's removed the need for that, so people naturally don't talk to each other. How many times have you done a dungeon finder run where you teleport in, no one's saying a word, it's a silent run, and then at the end of the run, everyone just disappears from the dungeon?
Because a psychological effect needs to be applied. And what do I mean by that? That would actually may sound a bit weird to you who never played competitive games. But for me, I'm a competitive Andy. I played a ton of competitive games during my lifetime. And basically, whenever someone doesn't talk, he just waits for anyone else to break the ice. Okay? And what do I mean by that? I played a ton of Counter-Strike games, okay? Like CSGO games, Counter-Strike 1.6, doesn't matter. And usually whenever we start a game and we're all solo players, nobody would talk. But the moment one person starts to speak, everyone else does. And how many times it happened to you guys, if you ever played competitive games? No, the same exact rule applies to dungeons in World of Warcraft. But whenever retail took that away from you, and now you have Dungeon Fighter, and all you have to do is click and you teleport, and that's it, it removed the thing that people broke the silence for, which is actually finding a group. Because when you're finding a group, you have to type something. And it kind of helps you naturally break the ice with the other players. And that was the best thing about it. It's all about the psychological effect. It sounds really weird, but if you played competitive games, you know what I'm talking about.
And you're going to be doing a new dungeon with a completely new set of people. Cities look busy with people doing all sorts of things, but to be honest, they're indistinguishable from NPCs. They just have player names and guild names above their head. And to go from the contrast of being on Classic WoW and then going to retail, looking in the trade chat, and it's all just buy this boost. Oh, give me this gold and I'll boost you through this mythic raid run to get you an achievement. And if you do dig into that raid finding menu and you can find people who've set up groups and they're looking for people for not raid finder but the level above, oftentimes I've just seen people trying to sell on there, selling the runs in there. These systems work. They enable me to play the game, to see the content, but I don't get any form of connection from it. For me, personally, retail feels like a single-player game with an always-online connection. Zizix442 says, remember when we had to travel as a group from Ironforge across the world to do a dungeon, waiting for the ship to come and doing small talk that turned into friendship. Good times. And it's got 73 replies. And those...
Absolutely. The best times I had talking and RPing with people in World of Warcraft were on ships and zeppelins. Like, these times were the best. Because then you have to wait. Because you're kind of bored. You have to wait. And you can't really just zoom out and do something different. So, because you don't want to miss the ship or something. Because it can happen so quickly. So you just end up talking with whoever's in there waiting with you. And it's funny. Like, you have good interactions with that. The best interactions I had were there. Like, on ships and zeppelins. He's absolutely right.
The exact moments where some of you may argue that that is wasted time. But for me, even if I'm not talking to anyone, I'll be inspecting people, checking out their gear. Oh, that person looks cool. What gear do they have? And you'll just be targeting everyone and checking them out. And it does make it feel more like a social game. And even the fact that we're all just waiting for a boat. It's just the presence of those other players and we're all doing the same thing. We're all just travelling to Kalimdor, waiting for that boat. Peter Puck says, today in Classic Era, I was bragging in guild chat about defeating some alliance in Alterac on my level 42 warrior. As a response, a level 60 warrior in my guild told me to meet him in Orgrimmar immediately.
Damn.
Upon arrival, he gave me a speech about the pride of the Horde and the value of camaraderie and the glory of world PvP battle. He gifted me Kang the Decapitator, the mightiest weapon any level 44 orc warrior can have.
Damn.
And I vowed to slay at least 20 alliance dogs every level that I wear it.
Who did he spoke to? Garrosh? Damn. What's that guy? He's awesome, though.
Classic is community. Classic is a world that feels like it actually matters. Classic is the real World of Warcraft. I remember doing 7 hours Blackrock Depths runs with randoms in vanilla. That was an adventure. Blackrock Depths can be painful, but it's one of those dungeons, yes, it does feel like an adventure. It was one of the biggest dungeons in classic WoW, and honestly, it always felt like you had to commit a lot of time to doing this dungeon. Yes, you could choose to do small parts of it, but if you wanted to do that full run, that really was an adventure, and you had to rely on those people hanging around to see that journey through with you.
I remember doing my first Blackrock Depths run, and I did it fully, okay? I remember we all spoke how much of a time investment it was, and oh god damn, I think it took my friend and I, because we played together, we leveled from 1 to 60 all the way together, and it took us 5 hours, if I remember correctly. It was so bad. Oh my god, I swore to, like, dude, I literally, at the same day, I swear, I did not want to do this ever again. It was so crazy. But after I realized what had transpired, my god, was it glorious. It was so crazy though. It was truly an experience. But that being said, I'm never doing a full run of Blackrock Depths again. It's too much. It's just too much to digest. Whenever I played that private server Turtle WoW, I did it in small but digestible and very palatable runs. And that's it. It was perfect.
And I can understand why some of you would turn around and say, I haven't got time for that. This is why I play retail WoW. And that's totally fair. But I do feel a greater sense of satisfaction when I'm going through that, even though sometimes Blackrock Depths can be very, very painful. You do feel good after doing it. You feel like you get a lot of XP if you're leveling. You get a lot of the loot. There's chances for really good loot in Blackrock Depths. And that's another... going back to that gear feeling like it's worthwhile, you could get a chance to roll at that epic iron foe mace off the last boss, or the trinket that lets you attack twice, or is that warrior epic chainmail that is really useful, even best in slot for the majority of classic WoW.
It is.
And there's even the fact that in retail WoW, a lot of the class's unique abilities have been homogenized. Most classes can heal themselves now, removing the need to have another player with you to fill that role. In classic WoW, if I'm a warrior, I benefit greatly from having a healer with me. And a lot of you have commented saying, why?
And that's a huge problem. It's a huge problem where MMOs have become like the soloable experience. It's what I don't like about Guild Wars 2 as well. Because everyone does just do everything. And it kind of sucks. And in Guild Wars 2, it's like doubly worse because they literally have no class identity there. And I had this discussion so many times with Guild Wars 2 player, man. They hate me for it. But at the same time, they kind of get it. They kind of get it. But you have literally no class identity in Guild Wars 2. Like, every class does everything. And it kind of, oh man, it drives me nuts. Because I'm used to play a warrior and I have so many things that are going against me. But I also have so many good things going for me. And I love that. Like, the strength versus weakness, this balance, it's what made the character feel alive. It made it feel real. Like, you could actually be hurt if you're doing something incorrectly. And I love that. I absolutely adore that.
Not just join a guild in retail WoW. That fixes the feeling. And when I did play retail WoW, I did join a guild. I joined a guild with people that I played classic WoW with. And yes, it did help having a few people to talk to. But oftentimes we wouldn't even end up chatting because we're all just focused on doing our own thing. You don't really need to be social in retail WoW. So people just won't end up being social. They'll end up talking on Discord or on classic WoW itself in the guild chat there. But in retail, there's no need to. I can just press I and click find dungeon. I can just do my quests and level up. From my experiences, you have to manufacture that social side in retail WoW, whereas classic WoW, it kind of just happens. And joining a guild didn't fix that feeling of purposelessness that retail WoW has, because that gear is still a big part of it. The world feels pointless to me. The gearing, the story, it doesn't fix that. And here's the thing, I'm not quitting WoW, I'm just saying I am done playing this version of WoW that doesn't bring me any joy. I do still love World of Warcraft, but I'm just done paying for that loop that leaves me feeling empty, that I don't want to engage in anymore. So when I do feel like playing WoW, I just end up playing Classic. Yes, it's slower. Yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it can be riskier. But it creates a gaming memory that actually lasts. Damn. And I think back to it thinking, I actually enjoyed my time in that game. And I can recall the people I played with, that era of time that I chose to play Classic WoW is memorable. And I'm going to be playing World of Warcraft with a friend who has never touched the game before. And I'm actually very excited about this, to see a new player's perspective on the game, to take my aged mind out of it and see what does a new player really think about this game. And what I'm planning for us to do is to play to level 20 in Classic WoW and then to level 20 in Retail.
Oh no.
So he can compare the differences. And I don't want...
Bro, with friends like these, who needs enemies? God damn, you're gonna force him to play Classic and then Retail? Wow, brother, that is rough. I would be impressed if he would still stay your friend after that. That is awful. That is awful of him.
Want to be involved in dictating the experience at all. I kind of just want to be there and experience it alongside him to see what he truly thinks. And if you are a person that loves Retail World of Warcraft, that's fantastic, because I'm not...
Oh, I thought he was going to say, then click out of this video, you little rat.
Here to just trash Retail WoW. I'm just giving my perspective as someone who's played this game for many years, as I'm sure many of you have, and maybe you might feel the same way as me. But it's great that Retail does provide that solo gaming experience in a world that is technically online. You can message people. You are part of this world alongside other people, and I think that it does deliver an experience for players, and there's obviously a lot of people who like that experience. I'm just not one of the people that really enjoy that game anymore. It feels like a completely different game to classic World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft has been a place that is some of my fondest gaming memories, some of my favourite times ever in video games has been in World of Warcraft. And I'd love to hear what you guys think. Are you on the same page as me? Or do you think that everything that I've been talking is just a load of old bollocks? I'd love to know. Thank you so much for watching. Click here for another video.
Great video by Kneecap Jake, and what a great guy. I'm gonna leave a link in the description so you guys can watch this video for yourself. Obviously give him a like and a sub. He's a phenomenal content creator. I watched a lot of his WoW videos, and he's absolutely right about every single thing he said here. Now obviously it's a matter of perspective. If you love Retail, then honestly, like, go ahead, play that, but just tell me, why do you like it? Okay, I really want to hear in the comment section. If you're a Retail lover, make sure to let me know why. Is it actually because of addiction, or you genuinely believe that the game is fun? Because I lost sight of it. I'm not a huge fan at all. I didn't like any of the mechanics. Nowadays, they probably change it like 3 or 4 times at the very least, because they're constantly changing systems, because they're so bad. And, you know, I just don't like any of them. Anything that I see, I just don't appreciate about Retail, except for like the combat and obviously how the game runs buttery smooth. Sure, like on a technical level, yeah, the game truly is marvelous. Other than that, I can't see any redeeming qualities, and it's so unfortunate, because I want to love this game again, and I want to play an MMORPG that I can immerse myself in again, just the way I used to before. And it's not going to happen. It's kind of why I'm banking on the Classic Plus announcement they're going to give at the end of the year, I think. But at the same time, do I really believe that the people that are so deathly afraid of saying war in Warcraft would give me a good Classic Plus experience? Nah, probably not. So I'm just here, you know, waiting, and it may be wishful thinking, but I really hope that Classic Plus would be good. But at the same time, I don't take too much of it. I take it with a grain of salt.